guys, it's Susan. So today I'm going to be talking about my experiences in psych wards from 2019 versus to 2023. So in 2019, I was dealing with a lot of issues. I was a freshman in high school. I was dealing with depression, major depression and anxiety. I was self-harming at the time. I just had so many issues that I just bottled up because I honestly didn't know how to talk about them. And so I think in either September or August of, no, it was May. Okay, it was May of 2019. And, I remember it clear as day. I'm just sitting there and, we're eating dinner and all of a sudden an anxiety attack is brought on, and because I'm sitting here, I was like this, right? So I'm sitting here, and my mom's on the couch behind me, so I turn, and I go, I'm suicidal, and so she's like, okay, and then that moment, she brought me to the BHN place, and then I got all checked in and everything, and then I think it was the next day at around 7 p.m. is when I went, and honestly, I hated my experience because it's like a BHN house thing, and so it was a BHN house thing, and I'm like, okay, that's a little weird, but it was an outpatient thing, so I'm like, okay. So I get all checked in and everything, and honestly, I was just crying all day, and I wanted to go to bed. So after they showed me where my bed is and everything, and my family left, I went upstairs and headed straight for bed. And literally not even 5 minutes later, one of the ladies, which by the way, the people who worked there were like my age now. They were like on their early 20s, and the nurse was like in her 40s, I think, I'm not sure. And anyway, she came up and she's like, oh, you can't go to bed, you need to go down with everyone else. And I'm just like, okay. And looking back now, it's like, fucking really? Like, I just got here. I literally just got checked in, and you want me to go and socialize with a bunch of people that I don't even know yet, and I'm not in the mood to talk to people yet. And so I just went to sleep. And then the next day, we had kind of like a schedule. So it would be, we'd wake up and then we'd have school time, which was when like if there was kids in school, so their school would drop off paperwork and for them to do. Except my Chickpea High didn't do that. So I'm just, for the first 3 days, I'm just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting, and I'm not getting any schoolwork done. And like the lady, she didn't yell at me, but she kind of did. She's like, oh, you're supposed to be doing schoolwork. And I'm like, well, I don't have any schoolwork. And then she like gave me a sheet of paper, and I didn't do it because I didn't want to. And at that same time, we had breakfast, which it was mandatory that you ate, but I wasn't even in the mood to eat anything. So my whole entire time I was there, I just got a bagel, a buttered bagel, because that's all I want. And then visiting hours were weird. Like, there were no visitors for the first couple of days. But my first visit, I remember, like, I just wanted to get the hell out of there. It wasn't even a matter of a fact, like, oh, I'm in a psych ward, I don't want to be here. Obviously, I want the help, I just hate the place. And so then when I did have my visit, another thing, we weren't allowed to have candy. And so when, I think it was my mom that came, or dad, or whatever, but I was like, I want to get the hell out of here. I hate it here. And they're like, oh, no, well, you have to stay, and I'm like, I knew, but I didn't want to. And then over the next couple of days, I've noticed something really weird, and that was, I think the second or third day, the groups, the therapy groups they promised, didn't even happen. We just, literally our group was sit on the couch and play games or watch a movie. It was usually like a little kids movie, which I don't mind kids movies. They're fucking wonderful. I love them. But I mean like baby movies, like fucking, I don't know if Cocomelon existed back then, but let's just say like if it was like Cocomelon or what's that bluey one, shit like that. And yeah, we didn't, the entire time I was there we had a group once, and that was like near the end of my stay there. And then, I noticed that everyone was taking this weird yellow round pill that was like that big, maybe. And then the nurse tried to give me one, and she's like, oh, here. And I'm like, what is that? She's like, it's your anxiety meds. And that was bullshit, because I used to take herbal supplements back then, and so my anxiety meds were about the size of a Tylenol, and the size of Tylenol, let's just say that, compared to this, yeah, no, you ain't gonna trick me. It's not my fucking anxiety medication. And I'm like, I know what my anxiety medication is, and that's not it. And she's like, well, you have to take it. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not taking that. And so she left, and one of the girls who was next to me, one of the girls nurse who was next to me whispered, well, if you don't take your medication, they can make you stay longer. And I'm like, I don't care, I'm not taking something I don't know what it is. And now I know that little yellow pill was most likely Valium. 2, they can't make you stay longer. I believe that's against some sort of law. And 3, I'm not taking some we happy few type fucking medication. So yeah, in bedtime, oh my god, I hate it. I love sleeping, I do, I sincerely do, but I hated the bedtime. And so during bedtime, it was around like 8:39, I think, and then after everyone takes the medication and everything, and the upstairs, I think the entire house floors were wood, so it was very loud, and so at night they would constantly, they would leave our doors wide open, and with the hallway light on, so you get blinded in your sleep. It's fun, and they constantly walk back and forth, and it sounds like wooden clog shoes stomping on the floor, and then every 5 or 10 minutes they would come in with a flashlight and shine it in your eyes, to make sure you were still breathing, even though they could just look at your body and see if it was rising up and down or not. But I digress. And then, yeah, I didn't really like it there. My parents actually got me out earlier than I was supposed to be. And so after a week and a half, I left, which I met all these great people, but we weren't allowed to give out social media information. Why? I literally have no clue, but we weren't allowed to give it out, which sucks, because I made some really good, potentially lifelong friends there. Yeah. And then I think, for a couple days, I went to school. It was the last week of school, which I remember my program started that same week, and the partial program, which sucked because my now ex-friend was moving, and I didn't get to say goodbye to her, so that sucked. But I went to the partial program, and oh my god, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It worked like school, so we were able to go home at the end of the day. We actually had therapy in groups. We were allowed to pick our lunches, which the entire time I was there, I ate a salad with ranch. We had actual group, and we had recess, sort of, so we would go to the game room and play games and everything. And I loved it there, and it was great. 10 out of 10 would go to again. Loved it. And so after that, I was on such a mental high, which I loved. And so it worked for 4 years, and then 2023 came around, and I remember May, July, my mental health got really bad. If you follow me on Instagram, and you go to my post, that one on July 14th or 15th of 2023 when I was at a beach, like right after around during that time, my mental health took a complete dive to the ground, and I was having anxiety attacks every day, and it would, like, by the point of September, I was throwing up from my anxiety, shaking, was suicidal, was very, very depressed. And there was September 5th or September 6th, I had this 8-hour long anxiety attack that lasted early into the morning. And so I made the call to 911, and I was like, hey, dealing with, it's hard to talk about, I haven't fully, but I was like, hey, and blah, 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 I'm suicidal and everything. And the guy was there, and even though I asked for no police, they sent a police car, which I assume is just for safety. And then I had them transport me to Bay State Wing Hospital, mainly because, one, they have their own crisis team, so you get booked in a place much faster. Like, you could go there that night and get booked a few hours later. It's crazy. Or what happened to me was I got booked that night and got a place the next morning. And so another reason I went there was because my sister's sister-in-law works there. And so the staff was very nice, very accommodating. I loved that place so much. And it honestly gives me another reason to work at Bay State when I exit medical school, when I eventually become a nurse. And so, yeah. And then it's the same building I went to for admitting, the BHN building there. And I fucking love that place. Oh my God, I love that place. I got my own room. I got my privacy. I was able to just do me. We actually had therapy groups, which groups were optional. They didn't force you to go. And they had an out room. They had 3 meals a day, which they let you choose. Plus, they have a snack. And so I absolutely love that place. I love the staff. However, each morning or 3 times a day, they would bang on your door and be like, for example, it's group. But I didn't really, it was irritating, yeah, but I didn't really mind it. And I loved the people there. I made 2 good friends there, which I'm still friends with. So, yay. Except for when I lost the contact to. So, hey Angel, if you're watching this, let me, hi, welcome, hello. I don't know if you know I have a YouTube channel, but hello. And I made 2 very great friends there, Angel and Cindy, which I'm still friends with. And yeah, staff there, I got my own, they set me up with my own therapist, which I still have now, and my psychiatrist that gave me meds, and I absolutely adored that place. I spent most of, if not all of my time in the out room, just, creating and doing me, and I very much loved it. However, when I got there, I wasn't eating for a week and a half, so it got to the point where I couldn't keep water down and I would throw everything up. And because my mental health was so bad, I just threw up for my mental health, which because I hadn't eaten anything, I was actually booked to the hospital, admitted to the hospital, and they ran fluids in me to get me rehydrated, and they got me on some pills for like anti-nausea, and I'm better now, so yeah, and yeah, so I adore BHN in that place. I love them so much. I actually had a severe crush on one of the counselors, which I happen to be on his team, so hi. Oh my god. Oh, he was so hot. Anyway. But yeah, those are my experiences at the psych wards. And yeah, that's it. I think the most important thing is that it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to get help. And what I now realize was a very big step for me was I asked for help both times, and I pushed myself to get help, which I think is very, very important. Anyway, yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna mind the construction going on out there. Yeah, those are my experiences at the psych ward. Yeah, that's it. So, bye.